What is going on, Panther Lair? We are back talking about the Pittsburgh Panthers road loss to the SMU Mustangs this past Tuesday night. Now, I want to talk about why Pitt's offense was so stale and did not get on track in this game. I'm not going to be on my soapbox nearly as long as I was in the previous video for Jalen Lowe, so let's go ahead and dive in. 3 possessions for you guys. This first one, I think, is just not good design or just not a good thought process here. I don't know why you'd ever give Papa Conti the ball 35 feet from the basket or 40 feet from the basket, whatever this is, and then not do something immediately to get this ball out of his hands. I mean, there's just no good that comes from this. Jalen Lowe is walking this way, so it seems to believe he's either feinting something or he's not necessarily going to be involved right away, and Conti turns back to do something with Guillermo Diaz-Graham because of it. There's just no advantage gained here at all. This ends up being a backcourt violation. This may have been, and there were some bad possessions. This is easily one of their worst 3 or 4 possessions of the night. Move into this. So this is kind of their standard offense where they're running up the court and they get into that like delay 5-out look where whichever big catches the ball here ends up running like a DHO to whichever side they feel like. I don't love this one because one, the screening action that occurs after this connecting pass never yields anything. And if the point was to try to have Corin so far up that it moves the 7-2 defender out of the way, that didn't happen at all. And he pretty much just camps inside the free throw line. So now if you freeze it here, you have Corin with the ball 35 feet from the basket with the one guy you want to hopefully have engaged dropping deep into the paint to protect it. And you're just going to run this, kind of DHO zoom look here. Jorge Diaz-Graham puts up a 3, no good. And just of note, the ball never got below the 3-point line on that possession. Seems bad for a team that doesn't shoot the 3 ball really well. So coming out of the horn set here, this isn't terrible. They're going to try to run their zoom action, but at this point, we've seen so many teams are used to Pitt zoom action. SMU just switches the 2 players involved here in both instances, and then you end up with Guillermo Diaz-Graham with his back to the basket, hoping someone comes and gets the ball, but with all the switching, they're in the face guarding here, especially on the guy coming out of the corner in the zone to use the DHO, that there's just nothing going here. So this ends up having to be a possession where Lowe saves them. This is up to touch, but Lowe does a pretty good job snaking through this. Immediate help from the weak side slot. And even when Lowe finds a cutting Ishmael Leggett, that this ends up being blocked. I mean, this pretty much epitomizes what Pitt's offense was. They had to work extremely hard to get any type of good look, and usually when they did, they weren't able to capitalize. So whether it's poor design, robotic decision-making, or making a good play and then not being able to finish, I mean, those are really all the beats. And when you end up losing by 20 points, you can kind of see why.